welcome back. Today we are working on part 2 of how to actually make a Tailwind portfolio with React and TypeScript. Let's get into it. If you see it on the screen, first we're going to talk about what actually happened previously, and then we're going to talk about how things are implemented. So if you look here, basically I made how the app is going to react to this time and how I divided things into components and how they're going to work. That is for something which you should know. But basically, I will have an app in the source component. In the source, I will have components, and in the components we have a card stack, and in the card stack we have the cards. These cards are also linked with types, but they also have other things going on, such as the design over here, such as the animation, such as SVGs, right? Because these icons here, for example, are SVGs. Also, we have some absolutes going on. Layout, the bento box is not made yet. We have a navigation on the first card. And we also have a footer, which is not created yet. Basically, when we get into the card, we make it reusable, because it's very important to make things reusable, because if you see, there are patterns here, such as the flex container or the grid container, and this button is also reusable. The text basically is reusable. The buttons are reusable. So we have been working on that a lot, and I'm going to show that soon on the screen. But basically, the reusables are consumed by the card, and that is consumed by the component in the card stack, and basically that references back to the app. So how does this look like? Well, first I'm going to show you how the app is at the current state. So here is the mobile version, and here is the desktop version. Basically, I can scroll not both of them, but I can scroll one of them, but basically it is the same. So let's get into the card stack. So the card stack has some margin padding, some flexbox going on for what is around the card. So that is very important, that the parent of the cards actually have been laid out for the black border around the cards. Then we actually have the cards here, such as Home, Brainwave, Revit, Elysium Binary Block. These are just the projects that I have made. So let's get into a card. So for example, we have a card called Brainwave, and Brainwave consumes a section. So I'm going to show you the section. The section is basically how it's going to look like. Well, each one has a heading. Each card has a heading. Each card has a paragraph. Some have extra content, such as, let me see, the buttons over here, or some socials. But other cards on the right side have a button which actually goes to the actual other live portfolio that I made. For example, here, that is the right div that we are talking about. So these buttons are reusable. I don't have them currently right now. That is also not important how I made them reusable. It's about how things look like inside my app. So basically, that is how we made the section. It's very important that I had the right short circuit going on, that I have the class names going on, that is consumed by the types. But first, let's get into the classes, because I'm talking about classes a lot. So yeah, let's get into that. So basically, I made a separate TypeScript component that is just a basic classes, which basically stores classes. Usually they just have specific ones that never change. And if they do change, I will consume another class name, and I will just say class name is class name. I don't currently have them here. Oh yeah, here. In a section, the class name is a class name. And then I probably have a section class name here, which just has all the styles. So But just because of that, we also have types going on. So let's go into the types. So I basically made a separate component for props, and those props are consumed by a main because they are all exported, and the main is importing it and then exporting it. And this way, when we are importing into a section or a card, we can just have like one line. We could just say like, hey, I want to import time brainwave from the main TypeScript component, and the main TypeScript component is consuming the types. Now, something that is familiar, most of them actually have the same type, which is the class name, because I'm not sure how things will be going, and some things needed to be adjusted. This could be of the colors, this could be of things, the fonts, right? The fonts are different here. So that's why there's added extra class name argument going on, and that is then consumed by one of the components. So when I'm going to use them, I can use them like here. Like I could say, hey, I want this component to have the text white, right? So that is something that you should know. That is how I defaulted my way into modular. Now let's talk about like being professional. In the professional settings, this is like maybe too ideal, so that it becomes more newbie-like. But also, every other person codes in a different way. So keeping things sane, that is something in a work environment, it's going to be different. So one example that's going to be different, some people do not consume the type here, but they're going to be somewhere else. That's something, if you don't know TypeScript, then you're probably not sure what I'm talking about, but basically you can consume things in a different way. This also counts for how I have approached this style. I could also be like, hey, I could be like a constant, right? And make all these files, and then I loop through all those things, and then I will have the content displayed on the screen. But then we have another problem, because not all the styles are okay. So then for everyone, I have to either make a switch statement or like if statement, like if ID is like identical to 1, then apply the styles and those kind of stuff. This seems redundant to me, so that's why I've decided to go to a section approach, make this section like reusable, and then the cards are going to consume that. So the cards consumes the section, and they're going to be like the argument. This is the argument paragraph styles, and this is like the class names, but it can also be like paragraph text, right? If you see it like paragraph text, I can use them in the paragraph as a children component. So that's how I cheated my way into that I can have separate text in a particular argument that I used. So yeah, that is a way of approaching my portfolio. So next up, the next steps are the bento box, right? And also gonna need to fill in the styles. Now, for me, the most important part is to get the logic and the things down before I'm actually gonna style it. So a lot of people on YouTube, if you are in tutorial hell, they will tell you like they will style when they are making the component. Now, I am not a particular fan of this, I don't think it's a good idea, because things might change in the end when it comes to styling. Like you will do a lot of styling, perfecting it, and then I feel just the feeling, it's probably not true. It looks like things get way longer, but the feeling it gets more demotivated for the task that I need to do. So to lower my task, it's logic first, design next. So yeah, we will be working on the bento box. Yeah, I'm not sure how I'm gonna approach this yet, but we'll see about that. I know how grid works, I know how Flightbox works, but I have to take into account like which ones I am going to make like on what order and those kinds of stuff, which is also really important. So let me see if there's anything else to mention. Yeah, I was thinking about how I'm gonna apply the iPads on mobile. We'll see about that. That is because I have a mobile version, but yeah, for now it is still on a initial approach. So yeah, don't worry too much about it. Basically, what you should know is that we have worked on the most basic functions. We did fill in some stuff, right? But we did not fill all the styling. So yeah, next up is the bento box, and then yeah, we'll see what happens over there. So yeah, thank you so much for watching part 2 of how I make a portfolio in React, Tailwind, and TypeScript. Um, if you find this helpful, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment to see me making 600 a day within 7 years. Yeah, I will see you on to part 3 and maybe even a part 4, depending on how I feel or how much I have done. So yeah, see you later.